It's been a while since the last collab that I did, and it's finally time for another one. This time around, it's with Aziel Arts. The rules are a little bit different this time around. To keep it nice and fresh, we both start with an environment for 15 minutes, and then we swap. And then we work on each other's environment for 15 minutes. Then we swap back and swap one more time. So we both get to work on one of the environments for 30 minutes total. So every environment will get 30 minutes of our time, but every environment will have been worked on for an hour, so it should be pretty good, you think. The thing is, we're not communicating between every 15-minute period, so we don't know what direction the other person wants to take it. And also, we have to use one of 4 randomized tools that we created, depending on which turn it is, and we have to use that tool. Now, me being me, my 2 tools that I created are useful, but also there to troll a little, because it's more fun that way. Now, I still have to use the tools myself, so it should be a lot of fun. So with that, let me show you what we're working with. Now, before I begin, I want to actually show you guys the tool that we have to use for this first round. And is this. It is a tool I made. It is very useful. As you can see, you get a cube, and you get smaller cubes. That's not very useful, but if you make it bigger, that's right, the cube never leaves. This is a scatterer that I have made that just randomizes the size, randomizes the rotation, all is good, but it guarantees that one of the meshes will be massive, guaranteed. You cannot avoid one massive mesh, no matter the size of this area, because my tools are useful. So they're a little bit of a troll. So this is the tool that I have to use somewhere during my 15 minutes. It's not a lot of time. So now let's get the timer on screen and let's go. Okay, so I'm going to start with just a simple large room. Thankfully, there's a bunch of these pre-made oones in this dungeon setup. So I want to start with this. This is also where I want to potentially just have it open up to whatever it is. So we're going to confine it kind of to here. I do want to immediately pretty much tone down the lighting because it's way too bright. Thankfully, there's a bunch of blueprint props here, but I'm going to actually go to my tools. I'm going to grab my scatterer right away. Now, it is way too big, but we can go into the props and find us something that we can use here. And I'm thinking a skull. So I'm going to throw in a skull here, and then maybe one more. There we go. So we see we have a bunch of skulls now. So now what I want to do is I want to position this where it fills up the room, and I want to randomize it to hopefully get the skull maybe facing towards the doorway, roughly in the middle. It's probably not going to work, but, you know, we can try. Let's see if I can randomize it just a bit. I might just need to go back to the original. Oh, there we go. Okay, you know what? Sure, let's go with that. So there's just a room full of skulls. Now, I also want to go in, and because there's a bunch of blueprints, let's go to the prop blueprints. There's a bunch of candles here. I want to light up the area kind of around him. Am I making a potentially sacrificial altar type thing? Maybe instead of this, because this doesn't have a light on it. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to put a light on this thing. Maybe like here, make it, you know, a nice warm color. Let's tone down the size of the attenuation. So now I can move this around. So here we go. We got all the lights in here. I'm actually going to kill the directional light pretty much almost entirely. Now, there we go. So now we're getting there. I also am going to throw in a post-process volume. I'm going to set it up to be unbounded. And then I want to go to exposure, set it up to be manual so it doesn't have the auto exposure, and then set up the compensation. Oh, there we go. So now we can really control the intensity of this light much better. There we go. Okay, so now, see, now we're getting somewhere. Let's see, what else other kind of lighting do we have? We have some torch lighting, so we can also put some torches here. This does not emit a light, again, by default, but it does have a torch. Just like the other ones, we'll put a light in here, give it a nice warm color, and we'll basically make this nice and spooky. We had access to 2 packs, technically. We could have started from the beach one or from this. I thought this would be a cool little room to set up, because now we can just really play around with this. I do want to throw probably a few more of these candles and lights just in random spots here to really set the mood. I don't want to put them in a way that will make it detract from the actual like kind of circle that we have here, but I think a few here and there is good. Yeah, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. We also have these really tall ones. We could do it kind of here, right at the entrance. So my plan is to make this one room, one, creepy, atmospheric, and give him an option of just going outside this room and continuing it any way he wants. Because keep in mind, we're almost at the halfway point, so, you know, it's quite a bit. There's barrels and things. I think we want to just throw those around. Just fill this room up with actual props. It is really dark in here, so I'm going to be building this kind of unlit. And then we'll probably throw a few more lights in here. Or actually what I can do instead, let's go to the skylight by turning off real-time capture, do a specify cube map. We'll set it to be this default cube map, which give us a nice orange glow. And you can see now it's lit up kind of the outside because it's no longer sampling the world, which is pretty much pure dark. It's now sampling this cube map. And we can control the intensity of it to be higher if we wish, but no. I just want a little bit of information. I don't want it to go to pure black. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So now we can see kind of the information here a bit nicer. I would like to put something in his eyes, actually. Oh, do we have something interesting prop we can throw into his eyes? Let's see how this looks. I probably need to control the intensity of this. I think that's too much. If we decrease it even more, maybe if we change the color of it. Maybe if we did that. That just seems silly and I kind of love it. And I kind of love it. Okay, no. I think it doesn't quite work. It's fine. We'll leave it as is. There are gates, so I want to put a gate here. So I'm going to put a big gate right at the entrance here. That way we have kind of a doorway. Actually, is there a door? There's probably a doorway. Here we go. Here we go. That's what we want. So this needs to kind of line up with it. Based on the hinge, it should swing out this way. Yes. Now we're getting there. We're getting there. We only have like about 3 minutes left. So, getting there is a thing. Let's go back to the blueprints real quick. There's a few different blueprints that I kind of want to put in, like some just pipes. See, I made this tool that made the one big piece, and I was having the idea of like maybe having it as a centerpiece. I'm curious to see what Aziel is going to do with it. Put the lights a little more where I feel like it would help. So I'm just going to add a few extra ones here. I think that's going to be pretty much all for the lighting. I'm trying to think, is there something? Oh, you know what I could do? Quick. Put a treasure chest right behind here. There's a treasure chest that's going to be hidden with gold behind the skull. If this was a game, this is totally where I put like a hidden treasure thing. It's not going to be lit. You're not going to notice it unless you really look behind there. And then there's a treasure chest. Yes. Okay, we got 15 seconds. Oh, bricks could be good. Bricks are good. If I just put them next to the walls, I'm going to show that they're well, one set of bricks. And there we go. That's the time we have. So 15 minutes. We got ourselves a single room that I think is pretty nice in terms of its moodiness. And now he can continue building out any way he wants. Next. Now, here's the thing, though. I know that the next thing he has to use, because we have to use a tool every turn, the next tool he has to use is a landscape material tool that he's made, which is also, by the way, giving out for free. I'll make sure to link that in the description. So I can't wait to see where he takes it. For part 2, we get the first part of Aziel Art's environment, and we need to use the second tool, which is his landscape material. Now, to use his landscape material, we're going to need a landscape. And I don't feel like doing something custom. Instead, I'm just going to use a website that I know of, which is this one here. And I'll make sure to link it in the description. But basically, you can see here is a map of pretty much the world. All you need to do is just move around a lot of areas here. You can just grab a height map from that location. You can customize the size. So default sizes, you can even specify how big or small it is. So if I make it 1K, 2K, you can see it expands to fill in, and it's real world size, which is great. So I can specify what I want, the area that I want, and then I just click generate height map, and it'll automatically create it and download it for you. So I just downloaded a random one. Probably not going to work exactly, but that's okay. We're just going to have fun with it. So let's go ahead and pull up Aziel Art's environment, and let's see what he has done in the first 15 minutes with my tool. So I'm just going to look around this really fast before we start the timer, but it seems like we have a hallway. We have some caves around, a little bit of ground here. Trying to find where he used the tool. Aha. I think this massive rock is the one thing, but then we have this. Nah. You're not getting away hiding it back here. I see. So this is what we have here. Okay, so that's what we need to work around. So we'll just throw a landscape somehow and integrate this, and I want to make sure that this is still visible in the end. You're not hiding this. Begin. Okay. So first things first, I want to see, did he just extend? Oh, this is a landscape. No. We don't want the landscape. Okay. So we now have some holes. That is fine. We need to get a landscape in. Let's go to the landscape mode. Import from file. I'll go and select the file that we want. Material. He has a few different ones. We'll go with grasslands. It's going to be like way above. We're going to replace it. Let's see what we got. So that's the landscape we have. Clearly was not designed for this, but that's fine. You probably fit it like around here, actually. No, we have like a smooth spot here. I tried to grab a random spot with a lake, and I think this might be where the lake was, because it's slightly smoother here. But I want to just see if we can get in here and position it in a way that, yeah, it's going to keep the rocks and keep everything else he did. So yeah, no, there you go. There's the stones. Okay. So let's take a look at what we have. So this is the landscape. The website does do 16-bit terrain, so it's not perfect. You can see there's still lumpy areas and whatnot. This would be a lot better if this was 32-bit, but based on the information it has, it's still pretty good. We can customize this, but let's see what we have. We have like a little desert one. Oh, this one has like lots of little rocks on it. Oh, very nice. Does the other one have something? I didn't like zoom in close enough to see it. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. There's grass on the... Oh, no, we're going with this. This is great. Oh, and the fact that it goes up through in between. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got grass. This is great. I love this. Okay, looking at this, we have a lot of back faces. The problem with back faces and all of this is we're just seeing all the way through to this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit project settings. In the project settings, we're just going to go all the way down to rendering. What I'm looking for is this, support hardware ray tracing. Let's turn that on. I'm going to turn on ray trace shadows, and then we're going to restart. It is taking a little bit of time into my thing, but I think that's all part of the process. This should help a lot. It's still computing shaders, but you can see this is a lot more atmospheric in here. So that's nicer. That's a lot nicer. I might need to do that on mine as well once I get it. I think I'm going to light up this place. This has kind of a little side area. You know, I'm going to use these torches. I'm going to go unlit real quick so we can actually see it a little bit easier. Maybe a few of these. If you do lighting, it's going to do so much. So we go to lit now. Let's give it a nice warm color. Probably a smaller attenuation. Yeah, something like that. That should be fine. Let's go ahead and place a few of these. We'll kind of light up this place. This is probably going to look real weird. You know what? The flame kind of still goes up. So you know what? That is awesome. We're going to have this one knocked over because it was positioned terribly. So let's go ahead and position this one kind of like this. We can't even use the tool. The tool is there. I really like it. I do want to do a little bit more with it, with the outside here, but I want to get at least some lighting in because I can't have it left to default Unreal lighting. I also kind of want to remove the auto exposure. So I'm going to add the post-process volume, just like I did on part 1. Turn on unbounded, configure the exposure, turn off the auto exposure compensation. Let's do like 10. Oh, see, now we're getting somewhere. See, now we're getting somewhere. See, all of a sudden it looks so much moodier in here. You get to have a nice view out there. Now that we have this, maybe I do put a few more of these. I'll do some more that are just knocked over. I like that a lot more. Okay, we do want to put some props in here. We need some kind of barrels or something. This might be a bit too big. No, I think we're fine. We can fit more. This will probably just be the barrel room here. Yes, a few different kinds. Oh, you know what? These bags might not be a terrible transition. So if I put these here, because right now we don't really have a good transition area. So if we do this and then we throw in maybe a couple of more just here and there, right? We just get a little bit of a more interesting silhouette. I like these stones. If we go to the other pack, the Day by Beach pack, let's see what we have here. We have meshes. I kind of want to put some more regular rocks around here. I can't use my own tool from previous time at this point, but that's fine. We can just, spread this around. A few more regular ones. All I really want from these is to make sure that it does not hide these rocks. I want them nice and on show, so your eyes goes there. Oh, hold on. Is it based off... oh my god, I think it's like a distance field thing. I think it's a distance field thing. That's why it's this blue color. I think it's meant for be underwater, and that's why it's blue. That's my only guess, but I'm gonna just put that there. Okay, I think that's a lot better so far. Oh my god, we have a minute left. Some boards to kind of lock things off, maybe. Maybe they were kind of lying down on top of this. maybe they were blocking out the way originally. Again, this is just helping with a silhouette, just something to kind of put in this room real quick to make sure it's not completely empty. It's kind of hanging off. This one's not great. This one's not great. Okay, well, you know what? Should have killed it. Okay, well, there you go. So that's my contribution. So we have a nice landscape. We made it a little more atmospheric. I did add the same kind of lights as in part 1, but I felt I needed something. We don't have many light sources, so I'm just using what we have. It is now properly dark in here and bright out here, so it's kind of focusing your eye out of this area, which I kind of like. You're stuck in here. The player's clearly cut off from going further out. I really like this material, by the way. If I didn't mention it before, it is free. He's now giving it away to everyone, and I'll make sure to put it in the description for you guys so you can grab it for yourself. I haven't even customized this. I just grabbed what I had and just put it in. But there we go. That's part 2. Now we gotta see what Aziel did with our little room and go to tool number 3. For part 3, we have once again Aziel Art's tool, his second one. He called this one the Shroomer. It creates a trippy effect and places mushrooms. And there's a lot of controls on this thing. If I make this a bit bigger, you could see we just get a lot of mushrooms. It's quite nice, but this is the tool that we need to make use of in our actual previously very gloomy, dark area. Let's take a look at what Aziel Arts did. Okay, so here's the environment. He just put a box around ours and he didn't actually... Oh, there's the skull sticking out. I see it's very bright here. Also, multiple direction lights are competing. Okay, so yeah, direction light. Okay, we need to make this area dark again. It is way too bright. It has kind of killed the lighting of it. So we do something about... Oh, he also found the chest. He put a red light in there. That's what we got to work with. 50 minutes on the clock. And go. So the first thing we want to do is fix this directional light. I'm not going to mess with his setting. He wanted it that way, so we're going to keep it. If he wants to change with it, he will. What I'm going to do, though, is just go to forward shading priority and put it 1. And then what I want to do is do the same thing I did in the previous part, which is go to edit project settings, go to engine rendering, and turn on the hardware ray tracing and turn on ray trace shadows, and then restart the engine. Just like in the previous part, this should help actually darken up that interior back to where it was. And here it is back in. Thankfully, it's very quick to load up. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, I like this effect. It's right into here, which makes it hard to look at. Let's just slightly rotate it. I don't want to mess with his vision. Very slightly rotated this way. So maybe just slightly clips the skull. So we have this. It's a darker atmosphere. Okay, we need to put in the shrooms lights. I'm thinking we put them in the desert. I don't want to put it in the room. Let's put it out here. Maybe something like this. We now see mushrooms growing here, but I want to really mess with these mushrooms. We're not going to get the trippy effect here, but we can change some settings here. Random scale max, I'm going to go like 20. We're going to mess with these. I want this to almost be like, definitely like an alien planet out there. So let's reduce the density, increase the size. Oh, there we go. So now we're getting like a little alien planet. Oh, this is great. And I love how they automatically conform to the landscape. He's just designed for the landscape. So this is great. I kind of don't want this one to be right here in front of us. So I'm going to just randomize the seed a little bit. See if we can get a nicer kind of... Oh, that's great. All right, so we get a nice large one over there. What I think I'm going to do is also just take this large one and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to give us a background, basically. We're going to make this, I don't know, considerably bigger. And then we're going to scale the max of this to be, I don't know, 250. Right, so we have just real big ones. They're slight silhouettes. Can I reduce the... effect of the smoke? I want the effect. I just don't want it to completely block out the vision. So I think that's fine. The other thing I want to look into is the fog. That's what's blocking out the full vision of that. Fog density, we might need to just lower a bit because I want to get that silhouette. Also, I want to tweak with the color, I think. Is it albedo? Because I want to darken it because it's in the background. I will keep it the kind of sandy color. Okay, what do we want to do next? We can't make like a road here or anything. Let's take a look at the beach meshes because we have some beach rocks and stuff. So what we can try doing is maybe put this kind of against a cliff. If we kind of load these rocks up, oh god, I'm gonna go unlit so we don't have the trippy effect while we're kind of building this. But I think what we can do is just put this kind of a cliff edge here. This might not read well at all. They all have this blue effect on them. That's fine. That's fine. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. This one's definitely much more challenging to figure out. You know what? The wall to the right is really nice. I'm going to try to get a big wall of mushrooms on the left. We're going to go full in on the mushroom front. We're going to get another big set. We're just going to scale this one down because we don't need as many. We're going to try to get another big kind of wall of mushrooms. Oh, you know what? Actually, that is a lot better, right? Because we have now those in the distance. We have the big ones. Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. I kind of really want to do something with the sky, but I think before that, let's put in some more just rocks in the sand. I think that will help a lot. Why do they all have blue? You know what? Screw it. We're going to go with the medieval dungeon ones. At least they're not blue. What I can do is put some things out here to, again, add to the silhouette. If we throw in maybe like you here and maybe a little bit of stuff over here, right? The idea is I just want to continue adding to silhouettes and break up any kind of straight lines of just the plain cages. And we kind of could use this as a way to kind of create a road. The mushrooms are kind of in the way of this cage door. So let's modify the cage door of how it's open. At the same time, then it's kind of in the way. Fine. What if we swung it far more open? We can't really go too far. So we could try going in between. But then we get into this one. Oh, you know what we can do? Oh, I got an idea. Flip this. We got time. We got a minute. Rotate it to open this way. Excellent. And then we can get rid of you. Actually, I like you more than you. So we can do something like you. So that way it opens now in this direction, which doesn't get in the way of the mushrooms, which is great. I like that a lot more. And then is there something else I can put in? Oh, where are the bricks? I just remembered I wanted to put the bricks in. I just wanted to put the bricks in. And I just remembered now, again, to kind of break up the silhouette of all of this. Okay, that's time. Okay, this one I was definitely more running around, but I'm happy with the lighting back to being dark without messing kind of with what Aziel wanted with the outside. I kind of wanted to tint the sky, but I always forget how to tint the sky without using custom HDRIs. We slightly reduced the intensity of this, so we can kind of still be in here and kind of look at this area. And I think the outside mushroom kind of area is really cool. But now the ball's in his court. He has to finish this. The last 15 minutes done by him. So it's interesting to see where he takes it for kind of the finishing touches. But that also means that my part 4, I am finishing up the environment he started, so I can't wait to see where he took it after our edition of the landscape. Let's jump into part 4. For the last part, or I guess I really should have been calling round, last round of this, I have to use my final tool, which I have dubbed the useful spline tool, which if I drag out into the world, you'll see you'll just get a simple spline, which you can then drag out and you get a cube that's now rotated randomly. And then if you drag it out some more, it gets to a different scale, and then you continue dragging it out. And that's right, it will just randomize the scale between every single point, and you cannot control the spacing. Well, you can, technically. I can just reduce the spacing here to be lower, but it will never be perfect, no matter what you do. All this is just on a spline, spawns a mesh, rotates it kind of side to side, and then scales it randomly, and you only have one input for the mesh. So, let's see how I use this in whatever Aziel Arts has done so far. So here we are. It's loaded in. What do we have? We have a lot of atmospherics, and it seems he has focused on this area. So this is where he put the mushrooms. So he put like a hole in the wall here and put a little alcove or something. Oh, yeah, this is nice. You know, I like the atmospherics. You know, this part hasn't gotten much love. So if we do something, we might want to do it here. But the main part is this. So we have 15 minutes to use the tool, which I have some ideas for, and then finish it up. With 50 minutes on the clock, let's start now. Okay, so I'm thinking what I want to do is actually make a path right out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our spline tool and let's go ahead and just adjust it. And what I'm going to do is try to make a cool kind of path that kind of goes out into the distance and kind of go from there. Ooh, the fact that it tapers off is really good. It's randomized, so it could taper, it could not, but right now it's tapering. So we just need to swap out the mesh here. Ooh, we have some bricks. Oh, the bricks might look nice. And we will definitely need to raise this, but I think we could use this to make kind of a path. What we can probably also do is scale this. It should be relative to the size of it. So if I go ahead and just scale this to, like, say 2x, we can get some bigger bricks here, which, you know, sure, is not accurate for how bricks are, but I mean, what part of this environment is accurate? You know, that's silly. No. We do what seems like it's cool. We don't do what seems like it's accurate. Yeah, you can kind of see it all the way going through. Okay. And if I take this and just copy it over, and let's say put it here, and then what I can do is randomize the seed. So we have a different part of it that's bigger. Yeah, so we have a little pathway basically going out. I kind of like that. You know, draws your eye to somewhere out there in the distance. I'm tempted to take this mountain path. If I put it like over here, could we see it from inside here? Then we have this problem. Oh no. Well, we could theoretically get a different angle. Yeah, let's go with that. It leads our eye to here, which leads us to the mountain range. Sure. Okay. Now, in here, in this direction, I kind of want to do a similar thing, but I think on the other side, I want to use something else. Okay, let's go with something like this. So we now have a road here. I'm going to swap this out with something, but what? I want something more interesting for this way. Oh, there's something tempting about putting skulls in here. Oh, there's something tempting putting a road of skulls. Oh my god. Oh, no, you know what? I could go with the... you know what I should have done? I should have scaled it to 1.0. Scale it back to 1.0. That does mean I need to probably redo the spline. Oh, what a waste of time it was setting it up and finding out it wasn't the right thing. Okay, we can do this. Reduce the distance here. Is that going to be real bad? Oh, that is not great. That is not great. Well, you know what we can do? We can randomize it and hope for smaller ones near the front. It's not great, is it? Oh, no. We need something else. We need something else. Oh, I have 5 minutes left. Do I just scrap this idea? You know what? Screw it. Scrapping it. Scrapping it. We don't have time. What can we put in this room that would make this room more interesting? Because it's just a little too empty. So what we can do is go to the props, the blueprint props. We have these pipes. So we can put some pipes around. That should help make this a little more interesting. Get a few wheels going, right? We just need more stuff. It look like it's not just a big empty room. That's my big problem with this one. Running out of time. I lost a lot of time, but that's what happens when you try something and maybe fail. Can I put a light in here? If I put a light in here and just made it real subtle, because there's a wall there, I can't put it way too far, but I can do something like this, which could be real cool. The blue does stick out because of blue and the orange. You know what? I'm going with it. It gives a little more interest. We need something. We definitely need something. I'm putting a treasure chest in, and I'm actually going to make one of these lights green. Make this one green. I probably should see what color it is. There we go. So this is the green one. This is going to be the one with the treasure chest here. The other ones are going to be empty. And then for you, we have just a little bit of time. Add a spotlight. I want to put a little spotlight on the chest. Don't ask where that light is coming from. Just don't question it. It is from somewhere. You know what? It's somehow from above. It's somehow spilling through. Do not question this. This is totally fine. We have a minute left. Can we hide it? Can we just put stuff around it to hide it? I want it to be like, oh, maybe you somehow don't notice this chest out here. Maybe it's totally covered. You're not going to immediately see it because of the lights and everything, unless you come from the other side. Oh, this is fine. This is just totally not noticeable. Quickly, put this in. One. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, I definitely did something on this one. Look. It's no longer an empty room. It is clearly something is hiding behind there, right? The other ones, just don't question it. The main thing I wanted to do, which was this, I think looks real nice. It's using the tool. So, you know what? 15 minutes is not very long. But that's the final section. So you've gone through 4 50-minute sections working on these. So technically this has been an hour of an environment work. You do have to consider that it takes time to figure out what you're doing on the fly, but still, I think these are pretty cool. I mean, I say these, but I haven't seen how Aziel has finished the environment that he was working on for his last part. So I say, let's jump on a call with him and let's take a look at how the environment turned out. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Thaddeus Andreadis, and I am from Aziel Arts, the YouTube channel, as well as Aziel Arts Academy, where I teach Unreal Engine environment art. I'm very excited to go through these environments with you because they were really fun and really wild, and 15 minutes is not a long time. I think we ended up in some really crazy places, which I did not expect.
This was my first part, the nice skull. We had to use the scatter tool on this one. And so this was my scatter tool. When I first made it, I was like, one thing has to be big. My idea was immediately, okay, I need to make the one thing be the prominent thing in this room. I was really tempted originally to just take this environment and close it off and just make it fully enclosed and be like, good luck with the second part. But I was like, no. I can't bring myself to do that.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, why didn't I use your scatter tool a little more like artistically? I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, the hope with the scatter tool was that it's going to make you think because it forces you one thing to be absolutely massive.
I could tell there was some intention for how you put the other props in the room. There wasn't that much that you added, but the way you added it made it feel like, you know, it's kind of like a dungeon storeroom, and like things tend to be like stacked or collected in corners or edges, which is kind of like, I guess, like an environment art tip. Fill the corner, don't show straight lines, I guess, or kind of like cover it where things would collect, not in the center of the floor, but like where somebody would pile it or brush it to the side. I liked that when I saw that. I didn't even know there were blueprint like collections. I just looked at the meshes because I'm like, I don't have time.
Oh, yeah. This room is a one big blueprint. Like, that's a pre-made blueprint. Like, this is a blueprint, right? This is a blueprint. And all of these. And this is like, I didn't make these. These just came with a pack.
I built all mine just from loose meshes.
And that's impressive.
It's not smart.
It's not about being smart. It's about being creative.
True.
But that was my first part. I really went into like, you know what, good luck getting the landscape now, because you can now extend this out and do whatever you'd like, or I guess what you did, which was not expected by me.
Oh, good.
We can go on to part 2.
Yeah, let's go for it.
This is pretty much where I loaded in.
I really love the story that you were starting to build. Like, it's like this creepy like dungeon entrance. But then I was like, how do I use the landscape material? Because that was the tool for this round. And I was like, oh, what if it's in the desert and like it's like a tomb, and then you come across the desert, and I could try to use the runtime virtual textures to like just blend in in the sand a little bit.
Yeah, this was really cool. I did not expect you to just, oh yeah, we're going with a one room. So when I saw that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I guess I could have extended it.
Yeah, you changed up the fog. You changed up a few things to give it some depth, which was real nice. You got this nice fog effect. The only thing that I immediately noticed is like, oh, my one place where I look from, I immediately cannot see the skull anymore.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I blocked your beauty shot with some over-aggressive Niagara simulation.
And then I found the red light, which you put in here, that you're like, okay, we found this. We found the money. The money's there.
This was so awesome because I found this in like the last 10 seconds it must have been. I was like looking around. I was like, oh, I have like a few seconds. Like I'll try to like tweak the lighting a little bit. And I was like, ooh, would it be cool? Like a red light underneath the skull or something. And then I went underneath it to put the light there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's under here? It's a chest. It was like a great Easter egg there right at the end. I think I pretty much was like Desert Storm. That's what I'm going with. And then I think I've done similar effects like that in the past, so I could do like a really basic version of it. Make a Niagara simulation, do this to the material, looks like sand, but you know, add the runtime virtual texture blending for the sand that, you know, usually helps it feel like it's in the desert. Tweak the lighting, tweak the fog. Yeah. I feel like in the future, one of my goals is like to get better at using shadow in environments. Not even just light things, but like unlight things, like create more areas and pools of darkness and be more in control of that. Because I feel like shadows through contrast and through pushing and pulling with the depth of the environment, like can make what you do have in lit, like so much more impactful. This was probably like we just threw it together, like that's what happened. But like for longer environments that you work more time on, it can be really difficult to like have large areas of black or blank because I just have this need to like fill it with something because I guess I don't trust that it's like good enough. Yeah, that's always something I see when I'm like environments that really like inspire me. There's a lot of blank space. There's like areas of fog or there's areas of shadow, and it just shows such confidence to me.
I'm definitely don't shy away from dark areas, as you can see in this corner. I was thinking of putting a light in here, I'll be honest. The light here and having the shadows, I'm like, okay, this is nice. I'm not putting any more in here. And this was my part 3, where I had to use the mushrooms. And I used the mushrooms.
You definitely use them. I was so happy when I saw this. I was like, this is better than I could have hoped. You know, you make a tool and I'm like, I don't know, I think this is like, here's some settings. I think it's weird and interesting. And then you're like, take it and like build basically like a whole level out there with like Mushroom World. And I'm like, wow, amazing. Yeah, that was so cool to see you use it like that.
Well, thank you. One thing I had to do was actually swap the direction of the door. I don't know if you noticed.
I did not notice. Oh my gosh.
Because I randomized to this where it just didn't fit anymore. And then near the very end, I'm like, okay, I figured out how to make this door actually work. I make it go in the other direction because I was fighting this door for a little while. There was actually at one point I was trying to put a wall here using the cliff assets. And that was a nice waste of a few minutes because that looked horrible.
I feel like the rock quality of that pack was just okay.
And the blue.
I know, the broken virgin, whatever those are, I don't know.
And I was thinking like originally, like, oh, maybe I'll put some rocks out here. Then I threw that in. Like, why is everything always blue with that pack?
Like, I don't have enough time to debug this material.
Yep. This mushroom thing is great, by the way. I had so much fun. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god. And the fact that you could control the density and the size of it was really all I needed because it allowed me to do this.
In 5.6, they have some PCG examples that are basically like projections, like line trace projections down. So I just use that as the basis. And then like a sphere volume in the blueprint, basically, to cut it off.
I haven't seen the last thing you did. I haven't looked around at all. Let's go to round 4. So let's see. What did you do? Oh, what in the world is that thing? I didn't even notice it until I looked up and I saw the face. This is amazing.
That's how I use your spline scatter tool.
Yeah, that was the tool. And, well, that is definitely not what I was imagining it was being used for, but this is awesome.
Yeah, I was like, desert sandworm? Is that anything?
Yeah, these are rocks. Is that what you used?
Mm-hmm.
Rocks, and you just put a couple of skulls in here, break it up.
Add the glowing eyes back in. But I was like, I started to be like, oh, you know, this would be like a cool image of like coming out of the doorway, and then that's the first thing you see, like through the doorway.
Oh yeah, that's so good. That's so good. I think the glow works real well. And the mouth. The mouth is so creepy.
So gross nanite.
I mean, that aside, I mean, it almost looks like a roof of the mouth and like the bottom of the mouth. Did you immediately go to this or did you like try out some different things first?
I think I immediately went to it. When I tried out your tool, I was like, this kind of reminds me of like some sort of weird creature, just the way that the cubes were spawning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're in a desert. I love Dune. I'm gonna make a sandworm.
Oh, I didn't even notice the tail. I couldn't find the freaking non-blue rocks that would fit here. This is exactly what I was looking for, actually. This was unintentionally because I just randomized a few times, but I ended up basically creating this kind of almost like walk path here.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, sometimes that's actually weirdly difficult to like, you have like this blank slate and then creating like an interesting path for like a player or somebody to explore through it can be difficult sometimes. So I was like, oh wow, this is actually pretty cool. There's like a little circular kind of path, and I wasn't sure, like I haven't tested combining like a ton of post-processing volumes in one place because each mushrooms has its own post-processing volume that's making it like weird. I guess that does work pretty well. So did you have any inkling of like where this would end up?
No. Once I did the mushrooms, I'm like, I wanted to put the rocks in, like, maybe you'll do some rocks. I wanted to tint the sky, but I could not remember the best way of tinting actually tinting the sky without making it look absolutely horrible. Because normally I just throw an HDRI in to replace the sky with. Didn't have time to do that. So aside from that, I was like, good luck. I don't know where to take this from here. It does get significantly harder each part you do when it's further and further along, when you have like no communication beforehand of where it was going to go?
I don't know. Like, I felt like the first round was the hardest. And then, like, as soon as I saw you like starting to put things down, I'm like, oh, okay, I can pick this up. Maybe it's how my brain works. Like, if I see something, it's much easier to like develop it than just a blank slate. That was so hard. I was like, walls. There's a dungeon.
When I have nothing to work with and I have full like creative control and I'm like, I have assets that make sense, I can go ham and like knock out something that makes sense in a world. Once it's like further in and we have a mushroom area outside of a single room dungeon, what are we doing here again?
Oh my gosh, that's the part that I like. Oh, maybe we should do this more. That we should work together then, because I'm like, staring at this blank level. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 15 minutes. What am I doing?
Maybe for next time, if people want to see it, let us know in the comments.
Yes, let us know. I would love to play a more developed version of this.
That's the end of this one. Sorry for the little bit of a slideshow there at the end, but hopefully you enjoyed it nevertheless. I want to give big thank you to Aziel Arts, also known as Thaddeus, for joining me for this collab. It was super fun to record, and for next time, I'm going to try to iron out those technical issues. And remember to check out the Aziel Arts YouTube channel to watch the other side of all of these environments, how he did his sections, and how it all came together, as well as our discussion of the other 4 sections of the environments. A big thank you to him again, and a big thank you to you guys for watching. It's thanks to you guys that this is even remotely possible. I also want to give a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters. It really means a lot. And if you'd like to join our community, the link to which will be also down in the description below with everything else. And if you enjoyed this collab, you might want to check out this other one that I did with DK3D a bit earlier in the year.